Invisible is not the same as hidden. Just because you can't see me doesn't mean you don't know where I am. Today we're going over 9 D&D rules you might be getting wrong. Number 5 did actually really surprise me, so I can honestly say number 5 will surprise you.
Holy shit.
But what won't surprise you is that Cheipaku have sponsored this video. They've asked me to help share news of an exciting announcement. More on that in a bit. Welcome to the table. I'm Kelly, and with great knowledge comes great responsibility. To keep your f***ing mouth shut and not argue with your DM if they're not receptive to your rules corrections. I'm just kidding, we're all friends here. Number 1, as I mentioned up top, invisible does not mean hidden. Invisibility means the invisible creature has advantage on attacks against creatures that can't see it, and creatures that can't see it have disadvantage on attacks against it. It also means it can hide anywhere, but that's it. Just because you're invisible doesn't mean you can't make noise, emit odor, leave tracks, or bump into things. If the invisible creature takes the hide action, then they roll a stealth check, and that is compared against the passive perception of the other creatures. You have disadvantage on ranged attacks if an enemy is within 5 feet. I always knew it was disadvantage to make a ranged attack against a target within 5 feet, unless you have a feat or ability to overcome that, but I didn't realize you have disadvantage on ranged attacks against any target if there's an enemy within 5 feet. It makes total sense though. If someone's standing next to you trying to cut your head off, it's gonna be pretty difficult to aim a bow. If you're playing on a grid, you must choose a grid intersection to start counting your area of effect. So even though your character is in the center of the square, you pick a corner of the square and count from there. If I drop a fireball here, I pick a corner of the square and start counting the radius from there. It's a small change, but it makes complete sense because then you don't have to deal with half squares. If you're not playing on a grid, then it doesn't matter. You just decide which creatures are in the radius and which aren't. Next is grappling. There seems to be a lot of confusion around grappling if reading through Reddit is any indication. And to make matters worse, in D&D 2024, they've changed the rules a bit. Not only with how the checks work, but also what the grappled condition actually imposes. This is only one rule for the purposes of my list, but we're actually diving into a bunch of rules all related to grappling that seem to be commonly misunderstood.
Okay, let's see my to-do list. Go to work, go to work, go to work, go to work, go to work.
In the 2014 rules, a grapple is a special kind of attack made as part of the attack action. This means that if you have 2 attacks, you can attempt to grapple for each attack, or attempt to grapple with 1 attack, and then attack your grappled target using your other attack. In the 2014 rules, because it's part of the attack action, you cannot grapple as an opportunity attack, as clarified by Jeremy Crawford in this tweet. In the 2024 rules, grapple is a type of unarmed strike. This means in the 2024 rules, you can attempt to grapple as an opportunity attack because you can make an unarmed strike as an opportunity attack. In the 2014 rules, one of the most common misconceptions is that you get some kind of disadvantage on attacks or some other type of penalty for being grappled. In the 2014 rules, the grappled condition just means you have a speed of 0 and you can be moved by the grappler. That's it. No disadvantage on attacks or anything like that. In the 2024 rules, you have a speed of 0, you can be moved by the grappler, and you now have disadvantage on attacks against any target that is not the grappler. So you can attack the person grabbing you normally, but if you try to attack anyone else, you have disadvantage. The requirements to initiate a grapple are the same in both rule sets. The target can't be more than 1 size larger than you, and you must have at least 1 hand free. This means you can't attack with a 2-handed weapon if you're grappling a creature, and if you carry a sword and shield, you need to put one of them away while grappling, so either your AC goes down or you can't make attacks. Before we move on to something I've been getting wrong for 7 years,
How embarrassing!
let's really quickly touch on breaking grapples because there's some confusion there as well. There are 3 ways to break a grapple. You can use your action to attempt to break the grapple, the grappler gains the incapacitated condition, or the distance between the grappler and the target exceeds the grappler's reach. The first 2 are pretty self-explanatory, but the third has some confusion. You or an ally can shove the grappler to move them out of reach and break the grapple.
Tackle and grapple!
You can also move out of reach using something like Misty Step, which would also break the grapple. Rounding. At some point on my journey of learning to play D&D, someone told me to always round in favor of the players. I think this is a homebrew rule, but it's stuck in my head as the actual rule. The actual rule is very simple though. Always round down. Before we go over readying an action and spell scrolls, I want to share an announcement from the sponsor of today's video, Peku. Che and Peku have been making high quality maps and scenes for many years now, and so far they've been available through their Patreon as a subscription or through their website as a single purchase. But now they're launching subscriptions directly through their website with a bundle that includes maps, scenes, and tokens at a huge discount. With the complete fantasy bundle, you get all 3 subscriptions for the price of 2. That means you get access to over 6,000 battle maps, over 2,000 fantasy scenes, and over 300 tokens. With the subscription, you get access to the entire catalog instantly, and new content is added every single week. You can subscribe using the link below and easily search through their full back catalog to find exactly what you're looking for. All the maps and scenes are tagged, and you can search by keyword or filter by theme. You can also see all the variations in one place, toggle the grid on and off, read the description, and see a bunch of handy information about map and grid size to make importing the map into your VTT nice and easy. If you're already subscribed to the Patreon, Peku will still be posting there, but the experience directly on the website is so awesome that it's a no-brainer to switch over. If you've ever wanted to level up the visuals for your game night, now is the perfect time. The art is unbelievably high quality, and each map comes with so many different variations, like different seasons and even different states of decay, that you can almost always find a map that perfectly fits your setting. Head to the link down in the description to check it out. Readying an action is also something that can cause confusion. On your turn, you can take the ready action. This lets you use your reaction to take an action or movement later. You must decide the exact trigger ahead of time and what you'll do when the trigger happens. In response to the trigger, you can either take an action or move up to your speed. Some people think you can take your whole turn in response to this trigger, using an action, a bonus action, and movement, but with the ready action, you can either take an action or move, not both. You can ready a spell using the ready action, but the spellcaster must maintain concentration until the trigger occurs. This means the spellcaster must drop any other concentration spells in order to concentrate on the readied spell. It also means that if you lose concentration on the readied spell before the trigger occurs, the spell dissipates and the spell slot is lost. The rule also states that you can only concentrate on the spell until the start of your next turn, meaning that if the trigger doesn't occur before the start of your next turn, the spell slot is also lost. This was clarified by Jeremy Crawford here. That's pretty punishing though, so many people homebrew that you can continue concentrating and readying beyond that turn. But rules as written, the spell dissipates and the spell slot is lost. If you use D&D Beyond, you might never have noticed this, but you only regain half your hit dice on a long rest. In the 2014 rules, that is, meaning that it takes 2 long rests to fully regain your hit dice. This is a small thing, but if you're accidentally letting your players roll all their hit dice every adventuring day, that's pretty powerful. But in the 2024 rules, the designers decided that was fine because now you get all your hit dice back with a single long rest. We've just got a couple left here, but these are 2 more that I've been getting wrong for an embarrassing amount of time. But first, if you like hearing me yammer on about D&D, then you might like it even more if I was yammering on with 2 other people. Loren, Alec, and I started a podcast called We Like D&D. It's a show where we talk about D&D and TTRPGs in variety show style segments.
I brought in either a teen drama superhero TTRPG.
Hell yeah.
Or 100 Taverns.
Okay. Oh.
What do you want to hear about first?
What are you thinking, Loren?
I think you know what I'm thinking.
Say it.
Teen drama, please.
Hell yeah.
I saw this and I was like, this is for Loren. I'm going to have to run this now.
Yes.
We talk about different TTRPGs and D&D modules that have caught our eye, try to build characters and adventures from pop culture media, answer questions, and play games. We have 4 episodes out now, and a new one comes out on the first Monday of every month. It's available on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and YouTube. You can check it out at the links below. Before we talk about spell scrolls, we need to talk about surprise rounds. And if you didn't hear anything wrong with what I just said, then you might be getting this wrong as well. There is no such thing as a surprise round. Surprise is a condition. If you have the surprised condition, you can't move or take an action on your first turn of the combat, and you can't take a reaction until that turn ends. Why is this important? Because creatures who are surprised can take reactions after their first turn. So if a creature is first in the initiative order, they can take reactions during that whole first round, even though they're surprised. reactions like opportunity attacks or casting shield or any other reaction ability. All of that only applies to the 2014 rules. In the 2024 rules, surprise is pretty much gone. In the 2024 rules, if you're surprised, you just get disadvantage on initiative. That's it. Spell scrolls can be tricky. You can only use a spell scroll if the spell is on your class's spell list, otherwise you can't read it. If it's on your class's spell list, but at a higher level than you can cast, you can make an ability check using your spellcasting modifier, DC 10 plus the spell level. The really interesting piece though is the spell scroll determines the spell attack modifier and the save DC, not the ability of the spellcaster. This can sometimes be in your favor or sometimes work against you. If you're higher level and use a low level spell scroll, the attack bonus and save DC will likely be lower than your stats, so the spell is weaker than if you cast it directly. But if you're casting a higher level spell than you can normally cast, then the attack bonus and save DC will likely be higher than your normal stats. Now that you know how the rules are supposed to work, maybe you should check out this video here to learn how you can tweak them to make them even better. I appreciate you.